Alrighty. Today we talk about the discriminant. That's that word, discriminant. Discriminant is a value. It's a number. The discriminant is going to end up being a numerical value. And it's going to determine the number of solutions to a quadratic equation. And therefore, the solutions, you might remember, the solutions are the roots or the x-intercepts for the parabola. It's not going to tell us what the solutions are, but it's going to tell us how many there are. So when you solved equations before and we found the x-intercepts, we factored the quadratic equation into different parentheses, use a zero product property, and that's how we found our x-intercepts. That's how we found the value of them. This is just going to tell us how many there are. Discriminant has a very simple formula. It's a very important formula you're going to have to remember. That formula is b squared minus 4ac. Where do these numbers come from, the b and the a and the c? They come from the standard form of the equation. The equation must be in standard form. That ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, must equal 0, or it could equal y if it's in equation form instead of two-variable form. So the a, the b, and the c come from that equation. So b squared minus 4ac is how we're going to calculate the discriminant value. And then we'll talk about what it means in a minute. First, let's just actually calculate it. So I got 4 examples here. We're going to find the discriminant. So I'm just going to rewrite down right here the formula. B squared minus 4ac. Get used to that formula. Stick it in your head. Write it down on top of your paper anytime you're doing this so that you can always access it. B squared minus 4ac. So in this first equation, a is 1, b is positive 9, c is positive 3. So b squared is 9 squared, which is 81, minus 4 times 1, because that's a, and then c is 3. All right, so 81 minus 4 times 1 times 3 is 12. 81 minus 12, 69. There's our discriminant value for that equation. Find the discriminant for this one. B squared minus 4ac. Well, this time b is a negative number. But remember, we're squaring b. And anytime you square a negative number, you always end up with a positive. So I always like to do that square in my head like I did here with this 9. I made it 81 right away. I like to do that in my head right away to make sure that I have it as a positive. So b squared, negative 4 squared, is 16. Minus 4, it's part of the formula, times a, which is 4, times c, which is negative 1. So I've got 16. Now I got a minus or a negative 4 times negative 1, which gives me a positive 16. And 16 and 16 gives me a discriminant value of 32. Okay. B squared minus 4ac. B is a negative 6, so square that, and I'll get 36. Always get a positive when you square it, even if it's negative. Minus 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which is 2. So 4 times 6 is 24, times 2 is 48. So it's 36 minus 48, which gives me a discriminant value of negative 12. And last but not least, b squared is 36 minus 4 times a, which is 9, times c, which is 1. Well, 4 times 9 times 1 is 36. So it's 36 minus 36. So my discriminant value for this equation is 0. These are not the solutions. These are just values that are going to tell us how many solutions we have. Notice that these two are positive, this one's negative, and this one's 0. So how does that determine how many solutions we have? Let's take a look. The discriminant tells you you have either 0 solutions, 1 solution, or 2 solutions. You could have 0 x-intercepts. You could have 1 x-intercept, we saw some of those. Or you could have 2 x-intercepts, which are the majority of these. So here's what it looks like. If you're discriminant, so here's your equation, x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0. They calculated the discriminant to get negative 16. If your discriminant is negative, that means your parabola, here's the vertex, will have no x-intercepts or no roots or solutions. This equation, x squared plus 10x plus 25, they calculated the discriminant to be 0. If your discriminant is exactly 0, you're going to have exactly 1 x-intercept. It's a big point of confusion. And discriminant of 0 gives you 1 x-intercept. A lot of people pair the zeros up and say 0 discriminant, 0 solutions. Not correct. 0 discriminant, 1 solution. That means your vertex is going to be right on the x-axis. That means if you had factored it, you would have gotten the same parentheses, the same binomial twice. And if the discriminant is positive, so they took this 2x squared minus 7x plus 2 equals 0, and they found the discriminant to be positive 33. Doesn't matter what the number is, it just matters that it's positive. If the discriminant is any positive number, you're going to have exactly 2 x-intercepts every single time. So a negative discriminant gives me no solutions, no x-intercepts. A discriminant of 0 gives me exactly 1 solution, 1 x-intercept, vertex right on the x-axis. And a positive number discriminant, no matter what the positive number is, gives me 2 x-intercepts. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of those. We're going to find the discriminant and decide if it has no solutions, 1 solution, or 2 solutions. They use the word real. We'll talk later about solutions that are not real. For now, we'll stick with just basic solutions. So if my discriminant, I'm going to write that formula again, is b squared minus 4 times a times c. Here's my formula. So for this one, 6q squared minus 9q plus 3 equals 0. B squared will give me 81 minus, I'm going to do a little bit of math in my head. Now I'll do it out here. 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which is 3. So 81 minus 4 times 6 is 24. 24 times 3 is 72. The discriminant is equal to 9. What kind of number is that? It's positive. And if my discriminant is positive, I'm going to get 2 real solutions. All right? 6r squared plus 9 equals 0. Notice there is no b. This is the a. This is the c. So b squared minus 4ac, b squared is just 0. I don't even need that. Minus 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which is 9. You can calculate what the number is, but it doesn't even matter what the number is. It matters what kind of a number it is. 0 minus whatever number this gets me is going to be a negative something, really big number, whatever 4 times 6 times 9 is. Doesn't matter what the number is, but it's going to be negative number. And therefore, if the discriminant is negative, I'm going to have no real solutions. A negative discriminant, no solutions, no x-intercepts. That parabola will never touch the x-axis. Will touch the y-axis. It'll touch the y-axis at 9. There's my y-intercept 9. Remember that? All right, 2 more. Find the discriminant. Uh-oh. This is not in standard form. I'm going to have to rearrange this formula to make it standard form. I could either move this to this side or this to this side to make it equal 0. I'm going to choose to move that over there. So now it's going to become positive 9z squared minus 2z is equal to 0. And my formula is b squared minus 4ac. We'll take a look at this one. I have an a, I have a b. There's no c value. The c value is 0. This is going to be 0. That means that this whole product right here is going to be 0. So let's do some quick computation. B squared, negative 2 squared is positive 4 because I always get a positive when I square any number. Minus 4 times 9 times 0. Well, this product is 0, so therefore it's 4 minus 0. It's 4. Anytime c is 0, this part of the equation is going to get you 0, and the b squared always has to get you a positive. So you're always going to get a positive discriminant, which means you're always going to get 2 real solutions. If c is 0, you're always going to get 2 real solutions. And last but not least, 2y squared plus 8y plus 8 equals 0. So if I do b squared, that's this 8 squared, is 64 minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is this 8. So let's see, 64 minus 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. My discriminant is 0. And since my discriminant is 0, that's going to get me exactly 1 real solution. All right, we'll work more with the discriminant as we move forward, but right now it's just about being able to determine what the discriminant is, what kind of a number it is. Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it 0? And how many solutions does that give you based on what kind of a number it is? Have fun.